Fight Club. TJ cracking his neck. No. All right. I forget what we called this last time. TJ's soapbox or something.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
I like it too. So today we're going to talk about dealing with adversity. And here with me today is TJ Gausman. Hey, TJ.
Hey, Jen. Good to see you as always.
You too. So we all deal with adversity, right? Like in our business, in our personal life. I don't know. What do you think about adversity? Like, how does it register to you in your brain?
Yeah. So, well, it changes, right? Like there's always something. Like, if there's not, you're probably doing it wrong. But
Or you're playing too small.
Playing too small. Yeah. If you're having no trouble in terms of growth or getting to the next level, you're probably not setting your goals big enough.
Yeah.
But I also think like there's some things that we allow to become these huge hurdles when they don't have to be. And
that's so true.
Right.
We get in the way. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so easy to because when we allow adversity to become a major player in the play, what that does is it gives us an excuse.
Yeah.
Well, but Jen, we're in a seller's market and
right.
My buyers can't get anything accepted and everybody's waiving inspections and nobody does FHA anymore. It's all bullshit.
Right. It is.
It's all bullshit.
My mom does, I don't know if you know this, but my mom does a lot of like brain health stuff.
Yeah, I love it actually.
Yeah, she's so cool. Hey, mom. But one of the things that she always talks about is like when you're telling yourself that stuff, your brain actually literally shuts down. Because you're like, there's nothing I could do about it. That's why affirmations and stuff are so important, right? Because it's like, there's nothing I could do about it. Woe is me. Like, this is just how the market is, or because, my dog died, or like whatever, right? Like, you do need to take time to grieve for stuff like that, but like, it can't stop you from going to the next level. Whereas if you ask yourself a different question, like, how can I get these buyers' offer accepted?
Love it.
You literally, when you say the words, you literally can feel your brain like opening up, like, how can I do it? And you're like searching for it,
Yes. Yeah. And the other piece of the puzzle, especially in real estate, there's always a winner. Like, there's not a scenario where no one wins. It's just not you. It's somebody got over the adversity and won because either they had a better opportunity or most likely they created a better scenario.
Right. Well, and people come at you differently too. Like people that are like, hey, how can I get this done? How can we work together to like, whatever, what do we need to give the buyers, whatever it is, right? That's totally different than like, well, I know you're not going to accept it because it's a VA loan. And you're like, okay, great, done. Made it easy.
I love that. I'll go back to, I think I say this every week, but every listing we get 1 or 2 agents that call us.
Yeah.
And when we get 15 offers, 2 people call us, guys. That's 2 people that say, hey, what do you need? What do I have to do? And usually their questions are dumb.
Yeah.
Instead of saying like, hey, share with me, what's your best offer? What do we need to do to get this done? I've got great clients.
What's the buy it now price, TJ?
What do I have to do now? What is the buy it now? We're not trying hard enough because we're already assuming we're beat.
Yeah.
And if that's not adversity in its finest, I don't know what is, but like there's agents out there that are winning every week, every day.
Every day.
And
yeah.
They're doing something you're not. And once you admit that, then all of a sudden it's not adversity. It's a choice to quit being weak.
Dang. We're done with this podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Well, Zig Ziglar had, I found a quote by him. I love Zig Ziglar, man.
Yeah, he's cool.
You remember listening to like just the tapes of him and his like
do.
Nice voice? Yeah, he's got that real nice Southern accent. Anyway, he says, sometimes adversity is what you need to face in order to become successful. And this is so true. Like our team, we always said, hey, look, breakdowns lead to breakthroughs. And this could be a business breakdown. This could be a personal breakdown. But literally once that registered in my brain, I knew that every time I was like upset or whatever, I like was upset. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is exciting. Like I'm about to go to a new level because I've now just hit my ceiling and it's now time to break through. And then now you're at the bottom of the next level up, you know?
I love that. Great mindset. I mean, that's a great mindset. And, you know, I've heard people say like, people don't change, da, da, da. And I would argue completely, like, the only way that you change is when you get the shit kicked out of you.
Right.
And whatever that looks like,
well, that's when you find, that's when you know what you can handle, right? Like people that succeed at a high level often have a very strong story about how they face like a lot of adversity, or something that, like, if you hear it, you're like, how are you alive? Like, how are you even in a good headspace about that? Like, hands down, like every single person that's high level success. But this topic came from, I was listening to my coach, John Kitchens. I don't know if you know him, but he does a podcast called Coach Code podcast. It's so good. Like, people should definitely subscribe to that. But and he brought on today Nick Good, who is a real estate agent whose business partner was his brother, and he died. So like, can you imagine that adversity? Like, you're this top performing team, and then your business partner and your brother is now gone. Like, geez.
That'd be easy. That'd be an easy reason to fold up, right?
Yeah. And he didn't.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So how do you, when you're facing adversity, how do you get out of that? Or like, what do you do?
Yeah. And, you know, like, luckily I've faced some real nasty adversity in my life, and I don't have to do that anymore. And that's a beautiful thing, right? Like, my bar has gotten higher in terms of like what what adversity looks like.
Right.
But I'll say this.
That's like, because you can handle more, because you're like, I handled all that other stuff.
Yeah.
This is like, your perspective has changed. And that's
absolutely. Yeah. And I think now where my biggest, adversity is in my head when I get too comfortable, right? Because like, I can coast and make a living. I can do that.
Complacency is also adversity.
It is a massive adversity, and I can coast and make a living. But guess what? I do that for a month, 2 months. I start to feel like trash. I start to not take as good a care of myself. I start to not be as nice to people. So if I'm not constantly pushing, and thank God I have a big ego, because my mind gets on me like, dude, you're a middler, you're a middler, you're a middler.
What's a middler?
That's somebody who's in the middle. It's one of my scariest things to me, is being in the middle. I'd rather be at the bottom of the heap trying to climb than be in the middle. I hate the middle. And that's where, and that's my self-talk when I start getting like that. Like, dude, you're being a middler. Are you a middler, or are you going to go out and do something? But that's my adversity now. It's like, don't get comfortable with whatever your X is. If it's $100,000, if it's 300, like, you know, if it's 40 deals a year, whatever, like, push, because you can help more people. You can change your family's life. You can change your friend's life. There's always ways to like be able to help and get better and change the world a little bit, but you can't do that if you're not making any money and you're miserable.
Yeah, I agree. I think too, there's also like another component to that, because it is about your business and it is about making money. But then, I mean, for us, like, we got to a point where we were challenging ourselves, like, how little can we work and make the same amount of money? You know, I kind
of love that. I kind of love it, but that's like, but that's something that only like an expert would think of, right? Because it's like, hey, can we do 30 hours of income in 6 hours?
Right.
That's awesome if you can pull it off. Like, that's the goal.
Yeah.
You know, and
that is the goal. I mean, and it's amazing that, like, you're right, pushing and trying things, because I have found that I never knew what I was capable of. And like, I could never like think about it. I had to do it, and then like fail and be like, oh, okay, I think I know where I messed up. Let me just try it again. And like, keep going and keep going. I never could wish myself into where I wanted. You just have to go for it.
Yeah. Do you think, like, you as somebody who's always been a successful person, like in terms of work, like you're not a middler. Do you think like that ego, and I think ego sometimes gets a bad word, but I mean, like, do you think that ego, that drive in you, like, you would never have let yourself fail because you would have felt so gross about it? Do you feel that?
I mean, I've failed a lot. But it doesn't
Long-term.
bother me. Yeah, I think like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to fail. It sounds terrible. Like,
Yeah.
why, if you can fail or not fail, I just would rather not. And not only just rather not, I'd rather do something so ridiculous that people are like, you're insane, you're crazy, you cannot travel and be gone around the world for more than a year and still make the same income, still be in the top 1.5% of real estate agents in the country. And I was like, watch me, let's do it. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
You can do it. Obviously, now we all know that you can, because we all went through COVID.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
now what's the next ridiculous thing I'm gonna do? So like now my business partner, Alan, hey Alan, we've decided, you know what? We're gonna refer everything out, like everything. So we don't have to deal with anybody. We're so grumpy.
So good.
But they're
That's
like,
so good.
you can't make the kind of money that you made. But like this last month, we did in fact do that, and we made more money. Because it was
That's
like,
crazy.
I
I
know,
love
it's
that.
awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. You
I
keep
don't,
pushing and keep just taking it to the next level, right? And
right.
basically you could create, in theory, you could create something that you oversee and don't need to touch that could make you the same money. And I
Well,
think that's
that's
where
the
you're going to
point,
go.
because it's all
Yeah.
about what you want, right? Like, do you want to have your name? It's all about your goals and what you want. Like, do you want to be there was a time that I wanted to be kind of the lead and the head and like the face. And now I'm like, I don't want any of that. I don't want anybody calling me. I want to do whatever
Yeah.
the hell I want and not have to answer to anybody or respond to a text. You know what I mean? So like, I
Yeah.
think you get to
Yeah.
different levels in your life when you're like, okay, let's get ridiculous with it. So if you could be like ridiculous with
Yeah.
it, where
Yeah.
would you go? What would you do?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I don't think I've earned the right to like go all the way there yet, because I still need to build this up. And like the big
But
thing that
you
I'm
built
focused,
this up really quick, because if people don't know, just for some context,
yeah,
you've only been a team leader for like it's only been like a year, hasn't it?
yeah,
Not even?
yeah, yeah, little, yeah, about a year,
Yeah, and
little
before you
under a
were a
year.
team member for a few
Yeah,
years. So like this is exciting times.
yeah, and like this is something where if I can grow this to 20 million,
Did you say
um,
if?
when I grow this to 20
Oh
million,
my God.
I think that for me will be a big, just like milestone, especially if I can do it in that 5 to 6 years from the time I began. I'd be really, really proud of that. And I think to me, there's a switch there, because I look at agents that are producing 20 million and I put them mentally on the next level.
Yeah.
But I used to do that with the agents that were making 8 million, doing
Right.
8 million and now
Right.
12 million.
Right.
So, but it's going to take a lot for me to believe I'm there. But I think that's a healthy place to be, because I'm not there yet. I'm not at the top, but
Right.
I'm climbing. I'm going to keep
Get
climbing.
it. Get
Yeah,
it. You'll get it.
I
Well,
will.
if people want to help you get there, if they want to
Yeah.
join the team, be a part of something great like that, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah. Text or call 513-379-2000. And then tomorrow, the 18th of February, Friday, if you're local to Cincinnati, we're inviting any agent, any real estate agent, to come to Cohatch in Mason, work with our team, work with our group. It should be very cool.
It's gonna
So
be fun. I'll be there.
yeah, you'll be there. We'll have fun.
I'll bring you some bagels.
That's my girl.
All right. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah.